Hi everyone, welcome back to Plant Happens. Long time no see. I'm actually not sure how long it's been since my last video, but I have been very busy with work, but I'm starting to have a little bit more of free time, so hopefully I can make a little bit more video from now on. As usual, you may hear my dog playing or barking or snorting in the back. That just comes with having a dog. As you can see on the title, today I'm gonna talk about my favorite Hoyas from the month of April. You might be wondering why I have philodendron here when my video is about Hoya. This is my biggest philodendron gloriosum in my care. I import it as a huge plant, but it's just taking up too much space in my tent. It's blocking light for some of the lower shelf plants. So I decided to finally let it go. So I thought, at least have a video where I can showcase this beautiful plant before it goes away to its new home. And yeah, I will miss it very much. So I hope you don't mind having a philodendron in the background or more actually on the side while I show you my favorite Hoyas. Anyways, without further ado, I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, let's get right into the video. So the first plant or Hoya I have here, this one is Hoya Carnosa with splash. Every time I post this plant on Instagram, I always put it in the description that this is just a normal Carnosa with a lot of splash. I know there are a lot of varieties of Carnosa with splash, for example, Wilbur Graves, Freckle Splash. I think there's also one called Stardust, but this is none of those things. I've owned, I think, almost all of those varieties, and I can say the leaf shape are very different on those ones. And this one, as you can see, is very much the regular Carnosa leaf shape. I hope you can see. But just with a lot of splash. This plant came from a Hoya collector in Canada. I think he inherited this Hoya from someone and he posted on one of the Hoya groups, and I was actually able to trade with him long time ago. I want to say it was in 2020, and I traded my Hoya, I want to say it was Callistophila, but that one unfortunately never rooted for me. I don't know why. Carnosas are supposed to be very easy, but somehow this heavy splash version, I've had a lot of difficulties growing. So anyways, the first cutting I got as a trade died. I could never really get it to grow anything, not even a single root. It just rotted and died. And I was very sad, but I never saw the person posted for sale ever again. But I knew there was another Hoya collector. He is on Instagram, and I'll insert his Instagram here. I knew he also got a cutting at the same time I did. So I think last year he wanted some Hoyas from me, and then he was asking if we want to do trade, and I said, yeah, I'll be very interested if he has this Hoya available for trade, and it was. So I was really excited. He gave me really good specimen with a lot of splash, but I'm gonna attempt to show you that at the bottom of this cutting, when it first started growing, it grew very, very little leaves like this, where my pinky is pointing. And I will try to find photos from when I first saw those growths. And it was very strange because it came in very, very pale color. It was almost white. Stem was very pink, and I messaged Jordan about it, and I was like, oh no, this actually mutated to have variegation, and it looks like it's fully variegated. And I was really worried, and I posted in the group, and some people suggested it was nutrient deficiency. At the time, I didn't think it was because the stem was pink, but after a while it just kept growing small leaves like this, and I decided to move it from perlite to pond, and sure enough it actually started growing these green leaves, and even those little leaves that looked almost white turned green. So it must have been missing something from growing in perlite. I was feeding it fertilizer, so I thought it should have enough nutrients, and I have a lot of other Hoyas grow in perlite for a really long time with nutrient water, and they have no problem growing regular green leaves. So I was really surprised that this particular one grew really strange little pale leaves. But anyways, I'm really glad it's growing really well now, and I'll show you close up one more time, and you can see how pretty this Carnosa is. And I have 2 specimens because I was really scared that I can't grow this one well again. So sorry, someone came to pick up a plant, so I had to leave a little bit. I think I was talking about how this is consistently growing good splashed leaves, and I am just really enjoying this plant. Yeah, so that's just regular Hoya Carnosa with lots of splash. The second Hoya I want to talk about is Hoya Desiplay. I'm not sure how to say it, but I will always insert the name here. So this Hoya from afar, it might not look like much. It's one of the thin leaf Hoya, and leaves are not that interesting. They're kind of like wrinkly, or it's kind of bullet almost, and it's just nothing special. It's green, as most of thin leaf Hoya goes. It grows like a tree almost, but it's been a really easy care Hoya. The only thing I worry about is when it gets close to light, the leaves start to burn and it looks really unhealthy. But the star of the show is definitely the blooms for this one. I really hope the camera will pick up. There you go. I think it will be very difficult for the camera to focus on the flowers here, but I will try my best. Is it focusing? I think it is. But yes, so you can see the bloom looks like a lot of tiny little whisks, and technically I think this is not fully open. The flower is not considered fully open because the tip is still attached, but usually this doesn't fully open and it just stays this way, and I think that's the whole point of this flower. And I remember seeing this on Instagram in 2019, and I was so mesmerized by this flower, and I wanted it. I immediately wanted one, but it was kind of hard to find one. I actually don't even remember where I bought this from, but I'm pretty sure that I imported this Hoya, and I think it's still not that common in Canada. I really hope you can see the flowers. This side is a little bit harder. I think this side is still the best to see the flower. I have my hand in the back so you can see through the bloom with the negative space. Yeah, anyways, so this one is really easy to grow. It grows really fast. It has been pretty easy to root as well. As I mentioned, the only thing that you need to be careful is the lighting. I think when it gets closer to the light, it's gonna start to grow these deformed leaves, and then it gets really pale and yellow and just not very pretty. But overall, I wouldn't say this is a very pretty Hoya to look at. If you just look from far away with the way it grows, it doesn't trail. The leaves are not that interesting, but again, the flowers are the best part of this Hoya, and I can never get enough of these blooms, and they bloom all the time. It's almost in bloom all year round. Like even in winter, this has been blooming in my cabinet. So if you can find one for sale, I would say definitely go for it, because it's not hard to grow and it blooms easily. The third Hoya I have here is Hoya clemensiorum. This form is actually the first clemensiorum I saw online was this form. This form was, I'm not sure if it's the Vietnam form or Thailand, I can't really remember, but this was the first, I don't know if it's original, but the first clemensiorum I saw online, and I really, really loved it. And then I actually acquired clemensiorum from Indonesia, and I think people call it Indonesian form or Anjak Ladan form, or is it Aceh? I'm not sure how to read the Aceh. Is it Aceh or Aceh? But either way, the one I have, that's a bigger one I introduced in my December Hoya video, was from Indonesia, and I'm not sure where this is originally from. I looked it up quickly, but I couldn't really find it. People mostly just tag this as clemensiorum without saying where it's from. But as I was saying, this is the original clemensiorum that I saw, and then I saw the Indonesian form, and I like them both. This one I bought it from my friend Amy. She's also on YouTube and Instagram. I'll insert her socials here as well as in the description box, although she has been taking a break from social media, but you can still see a lot of her amazing contents. And I saw that she had one, and I think we did a trade, or I bought one. I think we did a trade, and it was growing pretty quickly. This is the original leaf I got here, and then it grew one or two more leaf. I cut it for my friend Alice's birthday present last year for, it's really cute. Her boyfriend wanted to give her Hoya for her birthday, and then he contacted me, and we had this whole like sting operation, trying to get the plant to him without her noticing, and I took a really like action shot of dropping it off in like a back of, like hiding it beside a tree, but anyways, I cut it for my friend Alice, and then it just stopped growing, and I think it had flat mites. I think you can see here there's weird marking, and it's a little bit brown, it's a little bit uneven, and I think it was flat mites, but it could have been something else. But either way, it was just not growing for a really long time, and I did the Endo Safer's Endo spray for quite a long time. I want to say like I did it weekly for at least a month for it to start growing again, and it finally put out this new leaf. I am so happy that it finally have a new leaf. I hope you can see very well. And I will insert a photo here and here to compare the Indonesian form and this form. So the Indonesian form, I find the leaf blade is lighter and the venation is darker. This form, actually the leaf blade is darker and the venation looks lighter, but it's mostly just embossed instead of just having the color in the venation. And I'm just really happy it's growing again, and it has couple new leaf growing in. at the moment. I hope they don't drop, but this long leaf, long dark leaf with the embossed venation is just really, really cute and just dumpstery. It's definitely one of the ancient dumpster Hoya that we all love, at least in this channel. And yeah, so I'm just hoping this continue to grow and I can give it a trellis and it will be as big as my Indonesian form. But yeah, so just because it's finally growing, I'm really happy. So that's why this is in my top 6. Again, that's a clemensiorum, Hoya clemensiorum. I'm trying to show you the venation, and I really hope you can see. Yeah. The next Hoya I have here is Hoya coriacea. I'm not sure how to say most of the name, so I think I should just stop saying I don't know how to say it. And if I'm saying it wrong, just let me know in the comments, but I will also put the name down there. So this Hoya have a kind of a funny story. I imported this Hoya in 2021, I believe, and I imported, I think, at least 4 or 5 plants of 5 of them, and not all of them came very silver. Most of them, I think, at least 3 out of 5 were mostly green, and it had a little bit of splash on it, and that was unfortunate. And no matter what I do, I chop it back, it just grow almost 99% green leaves. And the green form is actually really cute too. You can see the embossed venation more, and I think these Hoyas just have, you know, like when you draw a leaf as a child, I feel like this is the leaf shape you would have drawn, and it's just really cute shape. But this is also one of the thin leaf Hoya. As you can see, it's like really thin. It's not waxy like a lot of Hoyas, but I love the leaf shape. I like the texture a lot. And the remaining 2 silver Hoyas, I grew them and they grew really nice silvery leaves. And I was like, oh, nice. So after it grew, I think 3 nodes, I chopped them and then I sold them to my friends. And then they never grew silver leaf ever again. I feel like that happens to me a lot. It happened with me. It happened with Alocasia frydek with me. I had a lot of corms that's really highly variegated. I gifted some friends, I sold them, and then it reverted. Never again variegated leaves. Same thing happened with this Hoya. So after I chopped it back and sold some of the cuttings, it never grew any silver leaves, not even like splotch of silver. So I was really sad. And one of my friends who bought the cutting from me was moving earlier this year. Was it earlier this year or end of last year? I think earlier this year. And she was like, I need to get rid of a lot of plants, come get it. So some of other friends went to her house to kind of take plants off her hands, so it's easier for her to move. And then I said, oh, unfortunately I can't come, but if you are getting rid of this plant, I would love to take it back. And she just passed it on to one of her friends who was there to pass it on to me. So I was super happy. And when it came back, it had this was the original leaf. Okay, hopefully you can see. Okay, this one, focus. Yeah, this was the original leaf that was super silver. I think these 2 leaves grew in her care, but she said it was not doing well. It was yellowing, but after I took it home, it grew this pair of leaves. Oh my god, so this pair of leaves, and then recently put out this pair of leaves. As you can see, it's doing really well. And I promised her once it's grown enough leaves, I will chop it and then give it back to her so she can have one too. So really grateful that she gave me another chance with this plant. And it's just really, really pretty plant. And I kind of wish this was this had thicker leaf, because I think it would have been really cute, but I'm not complaining. So silver, and like you can see almost, it's like abs, I guess, kind of like abs, kind of like dimples. The texture is really cute. So, and also when it have some of the green come through, the what's that called? The contrast is really nice. And I feel like the green is a little bit bluish, which makes it even prettier. So, but I do hear some friends telling me this Hoya tend to get yellowing at the bottom. So I'm not sure what that is about, and mine is not that big yet. So obviously I can't tell, but it seems like once it's growing on trellis with a lot of nodes, it seems to drop leaf at the bottom or start to yellow at the bottom. I'm not sure if it's humidity problem or maybe what's that called, watering problem, but I will see once this gets bigger. Again, this is the Coriacea silver. Very, very nice Hoya that I'm very grateful to have again. I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but I had really, really nasty cold for like, I think 3 weeks ago, and I lost voice for 3 days, and I was coughing so hard. After I gained the voice back, I was coughing so hard I couldn't sleep. Like I'll be in bed and I'll be drifting in like I'll be falling asleep, and I will start coughing so much that it will trigger my gag reflex, and I couldn't sleep till like 4 a.m. So I'm still recovering from that. And so like my throat gets really scratchy and itchy, so I need to keep drinking water. And sorry. And how cute is this mug? This was from my birthday. Charmaine and Alice bought this mug for me, and it has like little cactus inside. It's my favorite right now. The fifth Hoya I have here is Hoya Mathilde Silver. I imported this in 2021, and it came with really pretty silvery leaves originally, if you can focus, yeah. But it grew almost all green leaves on this, sorry. As soon as it sees my face, it's like trying to focus on my face, but on this side where I'm holding, mostly green leaves. And I was really sad because I saw a lot of people who have this splashy Mathilde have the same experience. The silveriness is not very what should I say, stable. It's not consistent. It's very easy to revert, but I was like, it's fine, you know, I like Mathilde anyways. If it's green, it'll be just green Mathilde. But like starting, I think around November or December last year, it put out a second vine that is really, really silvery and pretty. And it's continued to push out really pretty silver leaf, and I'm obsessed with it. And I think right now, because it's like green and silver, I feel like I say this a lot, but when there's green and silver mixed, I really love the contrast of it, and I think it makes it look even prettier. So this actually grows on my windowsill, and I think Mathilde is one of the easiest Hoya to take care as well. So I have no complaints about this plant right now. I repotted this Hoya into a bigger pot from it was like a 3-inch pot before, and I was scared it's gonna dry up the new growth because this one had active growth and it was on the silvery vein, silvery vine. So I thought it might abort all growth. But the vine didn't die, but it did drop a whole bunch of baby leaf that was on the active growth, and it's still continuing to push out like silver leaves. Hopefully it will show, but yeah, it's still growing silvery leaves, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever let this one go since it's like growing super pretty. But I probably will eventually cut some of the silvery part to propagate and see if I can make more silvery one. And maybe I can put it on my website or something. Yeah, anyways, so this is Hoya Mathilde with splash or silver or whatever you like to call it. Really pretty plant. Last but not least, I really need to widen. I really need to, learn more vocabulary to describe my plants. I'm just repeating myself, I feel like. But anyways, the last Hoya I have here is Hoya Serpent Silver. I first learned about this Hoya in 2021, I believe, and I thought it's gonna be super expensive and it's gonna take a long time for it to become available, which is true. It's still not very available in Canada, at least, but luckily my friend Helen, she found a seller in the States selling this one, and I offered that I could go over the border to pick it up, and so I shared a big specimen with Helen. So I got half, she got her half, and I think hers was doing much better. Hers seemed to have grown much faster. Mine took a while to start growing, and it actually dropped some baby leaves because when we got it, it had new growth. But I put it in pond, and the transition probably shocked it a little bit, and it dropped a whole bunch of leaf. Sorry, I haven't shown you the plant. This probably looks like nothing because it's so small. Oh my gosh, my microphone. Okay, here you go. So this is what it looks like up close. I hope you can see the silveriness. It just goes in and out of focus, it looks like. Yeah, so it's in no drainage, really algae-ridden pond, but it's growing new leaves now, and it's just the cutest thing ever. Okay, I knew this one was gonna be hard to focus, but not this much. Yeah, I think this is good. So yeah, Hoya Serpens has been always my favorite little small leaf Hoya. It's really small, it's fuzzy, and it's like semi-heart shaped, and it has dimples, and who wouldn't like that? So silver version is like a no-brainer. And when I posted this on Instagram, I got a lot of response as well. So I think it's safe to say a lot of people like these type of Hoya, and I feel really lucky that I got to purchase this when it's not very available yet. But I'm sure it's gonna start being more available in Canada as well, because popular Hoyas gets available faster, in my opinion, and so far it hasn't been too finicky to grow, so I think it will be pretty popular. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think it's popular, so I think it's gonna become much more accessible soon. So I don't have a lot more to say about this because I haven't had this very long time. I don't think this is any harder than green serpents so far, and it seems to enjoy semi-hydro. And I think serpents is one of the Hoya that dislike being very dry. That's why I grow both of mine in semi-hydro, because it's much easier to keep them a constant water in the reservoir, so it never dries out, and it's really easy to underwater and for it to have yellow leaf and it would drop, and it's kind of sad. So I would recommend growing serpents in semi-hydro. However, I do struggle to root serpents, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't cut this. I think it's easiest to root serpens in moss, but I also dislike transferring from moss to any other substrate. So yeah, once the vines are much longer, I probably try to propagate this, but for now I'm too scared to do anything about this. Really cute. So yeah, that was the Hoya Serpens Silver. Okay, so that was top 6 Hoyas from April. I always really love Hoyas, and as you know, Hoyas are one of my, probably not one of, it's the favorite genus of plant for me. So I think I will be doing favorite Hoyas from now and then, and probably not every month, but maybe a couple times a year I will do this. And I think it's really fun to show pretty plants, and I know most of my videos has been like just show and tell. That's because it's just the easiest form of video that I can do, and I haven't had chance to really go in and plan a tutorial or maybe like, you know, a tour or something. And I hope as I have more time moving on, I will be able to plan those videos. So if you have any video requests, make sure you put it, make sure you comment below, and I will always take notes of what you like to see, and I will try to get on top of planning more moving forward. So yeah, definitely let me know what kind of videos you want to see. So I think that's everything from me. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps the visibility of this channel a lot. And also please subscribe to this channel if you like to see more videos from me, and maybe hit the notification button if you like to be notified. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye now.